Okay, Trump accounts. Here it is, the good, the bad, and the ugly. My name is Paul Vasquez with Tax Lab, and you need to become an ethical millionaire. Okay, guys. If you haven't had a chance yet to look at the one big beautiful bill or the Trump tax plan, whatever you're calling it, I don't care. It is whatever name. If a rose by any other name, huh? Does it smell like taxes? Okay, so this section is a horrible read. It is filled with lots and lots of jargon, references to other code sections. It's pretty nasty. But I'm going to do my best to help you guys get through this, to dig out the important aspects that you want and need to know. So like always, the beneficiaries must be born in the U.S. with U.S. Social Security numbers. So no foreign-born babies get the $1,000. So right there, you got to have the baby born 12 months after this is enacted. The contributions can start 12 months after this policy is enacted. See, already I'm getting things back and forth on here. You cannot contribute to these policies until after 12 months have passed since the start of these programs. This probably just gives them time to figure out what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. So with these accounts, we've got to get some terminologies down from the start for these specific accounts to try to understand what these are. There are special provisions on here for rolling over able accounts. I'm not going to get into that. If you want to get into that, you're gonna have to pay me. Sign up for some advisory services. We can get into the able stuff if that's your concern. So anybody who hasn't reached the age of 17, basically, they say 18 a lot, but they say the first year in which you turn age, the first month of the first year in which you turn 18. So basically, before you turn 18, 17, right? So these accounts can be set up for anybody starting after December 31st, 2024. So if you're not 18 or your child is not 18, you can set up one of these accounts for them. Now, once again, they're giving about 12 months from the time that this thing started for these accounts to be set up and figured out. So even though you might have a child who is not yet 18, there could be better things to do anyways. So if you're on that cusp, once again, let's talk. It gets too specific for this video. If your child is born, not already born, so they're going to be born in 2025. So if they were born this year, all the way through 2029, that's when you get the $1,000 at their birth. So that's what they call his pilot program. So that any child can qualify to be a beneficiary of one of these accounts who's under the age of 17 or 17 or less, right? Under the age of 18, under, not 18, under. And not the year they turn 18 either. Right. Okay. So 17. But if you're a baby in 2025, you were born in 2025, all the way through 2029, you'll get that first $1,000 put into your account by the Trump administration. All right. So you got that. Anyone under 17 or under can have one of these accounts set up for them. Only those born after 2025 through 2029 can get the $1,000 extra. Now, how do you get money into the account? Well, there are a few ways. Number one is this rollover method. I'm not going to get into that because, once again, these are more complicated accounts, able accounts, and then if you basically started one account and switch to another account, you can roll those over with no penalty, no issue. But nobody has these accounts yet. Only those with able accounts have some rollover issues. So I'm not going to get into the details there again. So the other methods is that anybody can contribute to these accounts up to $5,000 a year. These are going to be post-tax dollars. So if you have a child, you've earned $5,000 or more, you can contribute that to this child's account. You don't even have to earn it. It's just post-tax dollars. That money had to have been taxed at once before it got into your possession, right? If it's earnings, yeah, you're paying taxes on that. There's no deduction on your W-2 on your taxes for that. It still has to be reported somehow to the secretary, it says. It has to be reported. In fact, you can give less than $25. If you don't want that to have the requirement to report it, it can be $24.99 that you can contribute to anyone's account, and it does not have to be a reported contribution. Once again, it doesn't much matter because either way, you're not getting a tax deduction on it. If you're someone who doesn't want your name on some report somewhere, and you still want to do that for a child in the United States within the time frames, you can do that without your name going on some record if it's under $25. So once again, anyone can contribute up to $5,000 a year, but it's post-tax dollars. The person taking that money out, once they become 18 and they can access it, it's not going to be taxed to them because it was already taxed. The next contribution can come from your employer or an employer. An employer can set this up as a benefit to their employees, but the limit they have is $2,500. So $2,500 they can contribute as an employee benefit. This is the interesting part I find so far. This would not be taxed to the the parent's income. It would not be taxed to the child's income for that year. It would be a tax deduction for the employer. S-corp owners, you see where we're going with that. Now, what I did not see, and there may be grounds for some, toying here, is that that's per employer. If you happen to have more than one employer, there doesn't seem to be written in any issue that says amongst all the employers that you have your child's limit for receiving is anything. So you could go out there and get 50 employers in any year and have all your benefits go in as at $2,500. The employer gets the write-off. You don't have any income. And then you're just loading up your children with a bunch of money. Don't know how you're going to organize that with all those employers, but there you go. You can work as slave labor for your child's future. I'm sure employment laws are still in effect. The money attributable to that $2,500, however, is not taxable to the child upon withdrawal either. So that is kind of like the golden area of this rule so far. Now, if you end up contributing more than that $5,000 or anybody contributes more than their limit, they can take that money back out without any tax consequence, except for any interest earned on that account in that time period. So if you put over $6,000 and that extra $1,000, or there's any interest on that additional $1,000, it is going 100% to the government. That's the gist of it. Watch this again, save this again. There's not enough time to review the main points. If you want specifics on how it applies to you, lab.tax advisory services. I wish you